back to Raised by Wolves. I had no idea the new season was dropping this soon. Are these the other people that showed up at the end of the first season?
Found an android, looks Mithraic, and some debris from a crash lander.
Is it Father?
Yeah, we just recovered an android as well.
Oh, great. I actually almost forgot about the giant slug snake at the end of the last season.
Maybe it's something the Mithraic brought back from Earth.
Yes and no.
That man.
I do love the sound design on this show. Whoa, that looks really cool. Thoroughly alien looking. Definitely doesn't look like anything on Earth. I approve.
Power up the androids for memory download.
Permission granted.
You might regret that, and what the hell was that sound?
Shit, this isn't a service model.
What is... Oh my god, what is... Ew. Oh, I forgot the show does that sometimes. Oh my god. Oh! Okay, she does not need the necromancer eyes to be scary as hell.
Take me to him.
Okay. If I were this dude, I'd be like, you got it, you got it. I'm not gonna do nothing. Like, Mother, I would appreciate if you don't kill him. He actually seems like an alright dude. Okay, cool. What is that? She's such a good actor. Like, she plays this role unbelievably well. Looks kind of like the thing from Annihilation, actually. If anyone has seen the movie, I'm sure you'll know what I'm talking about.
I am not motivated by suspicion, only the quantification of data.
Yes.
Okay.
Whatever was inside was likely destroyed along with it.
Doubt it. Well, I mean, not only doubt it, like, we saw that it didn't kill it.
They are safe. I will release them to you, and you can all join the collective.
Okay. Seems a little too good to be true, but
I would like that.
I'll take it. Ooh. Is this also the collective after him? Good shot. How much time has passed exactly since season 1 to this point? It seems like not much at all. The ship designs and everything, like just the look of this show is really, really cool. Whoa, those just big whirlpools? That's fucking sick, actually. Terrifying, but really cool. Oh, that's right. There's the pits, like, all over the planet. Of course, there would be some in the ocean as well.
Further instructions.
Oh, they're doing a good job making me like this new, like, machine that's in charge of the atheists, but I have a feeling it's gonna be, like, a very serious problem and villain to deal with.
He went down in the acid water.
Acid water?
Hell of a way to go.
Oh my gosh, that's terrifying. So how much of the planet's water is acid like this? Obviously not all of it, but I worry that that's also going to present a serious problem later. Ooh, that is so cool. They're already giving us a lot more, like, sci-fi gadgets, I feel like. So what, she said tether, it'll, like, pull you over, like some carpe retractum stuff or something? That looked a little funky, but still a pretty cool, like, gadget that he has. When it cut to him and it said he was 3,000 miles away, I was like, alright, cool. I guess we're not gonna have to worry about that. Never mind. Ah, yes, this intro is so good. Ah, these visuals, this music, I love this. Oh, this is different. What's with the trees and the roots? I also don't want to, like, nitpick too hard right here, but I feel like the veins, like, all across his face, they don't really look like blackened veins. They look more like scars. So if they're scars, that's cool, but I think it's supposed to be, like, it's supposed to look like blood poisoning almost with, you know, like, blackened veins. And I don't think it looks entirely believable for that. Oh, that's gorgeous. What are you doing? You still just hearing Saul talk to you? What? Oh, girl, you is ugly. Oh, that's... That was a really mean snap judgment I made. I realize now that it was like a a very low-end Android model. I thought it was just like a really interesting looking person.
The mission isn't lost, Father.
Aww. It's a little creepy the way she says it, but it's also kind of cute. I really miss Father. Campion.
Campion.
Mother.
Whoa, he sounds way older.
50.
Holy shit.
Your voice is half an octave lower.
Yeah, maybe more than that.
But they say he's fine and he will be delivered to us soon.
Okay.
Mother,
I'm still very worried
what
about
happened to
Paul. He
number
literally shot his mother, but okay.
Number 7. So he's assured me he'll keep us safe and protected.
I see the motivation behind this, Mother, but I feel like this is gonna bite y'all in the ass so hard. Don't eat that, don't eat that. You don't know if you can eat it. Well, since you're Campion, I'm assuming you're not gonna die, but that seems kind of silly to just eat it like that. And their living space is all
This is
provided for and everything.
For as long as we're part of the collective.
Not
check
bad.
this out. You're the old you again.
I would prefer that she gets her eyes back.
Yes.
Even if that creates problems, it was pretty dope whenever she did.
This side of the planet seems less intent on killing our children.
It does.
Almost welcoming.
Yes.
Too welcoming. Much too welcoming.
Nor am I completely indifferent to our partnership continuing.
Aww.
I am pleased for the opportunity to make things up to you.
Me too. I hope it goes well. It probably won't. Father's such a nice dude, though. Like, please just let him have a nice ride this season. If you're gonna pick on someone, let it be someone else. Please. Bro, you gotta fix your face. That just looks awful. Oh.
You should come with me.
I mean, you don't really have any better options, unfortunately. I gotta say, it took me a moment, Tempest, but I actually kind of like the new haircut.
Did you show your gratitude by affording her and her Mithraic children good day?
Not exactly what I was expecting. He's basically just like, alright, nobody talk to them. Just leave them be. I thought he was gonna be like, yeah, welcome him in. They're, you know, they're cool.
I want to be in your life. I want to take care of you.
You can't. You just can't.
What the fuck, dude?
Your soul is impure. I wish you died like you were supposed to.
Go away, go away. I'm sure there'll be some way to break through to him. I'm not the person who could ever figure it out. He's just fucking irritating. Go away. Like, she's the one person who ever treated you kindly. Fucking asshole. Your own mother treated you like shit.
He said a voice in his head told him.
Which makes
same thing that happened to
no
Marcus.
sense. How? Oh, wait.
I had a similar experience.
What if the,
Some kind
like, the
of presence
collective
invaded my
is what's
recon.
doing that? Can it do that?
Perhaps a transmission that both androids and humans can hear.
Yeah.
You think that's why you lost the baby?
No, definitely not
I don't
that.
know.
If it is a signal, then maybe I can figure out where it's coming from.
Hell yes.
Well, if you do
Let's
find a
do
source,
it.
don't investigate without me.
You got it.
Yep, deal. Sounds good to me. Good partnership.
Look after Paul for me.
That is so unfair, dude. Fuck you, Paul. He's just a child. I don't give a shit.
I protected the rest of the group. Looked after them.
I feel like
Just
Sue
as you
probably
were
did the most, but okay, Campion, sure.
I'm sorry about number 7.
You shouldn't be. That thing is evil as fuck and still alive.
Why are we standing here?
Let's
go waiting in line, looking to a future idiot.
Quiet. It's necessary efficiency.
That was rude, but that was kind of funny.
I've been ordered by the Trust to express my remorse for threatening a fellow colonist.
That's really fucked. So you just pick up your task or your job for the day. It's very, District 13 from, you know, Mockingjay or...
Got the same as me.
Well, I mean, a lot of different dystopian sci-fi stuff. Ew. She's like, alright then.
Greetings, fellow colonists.
Go back to the earth you destroyed, you Mithraics.
Oh, fuck off. Anyone talks shit to Father, I will have some words for them. Once again, we have some very cryptic cave drawings and writing. Is that in blood? I hope Campion can talk some sense into him or figure out who the fuck he's talking to. No, not another hexagon. What is this?
I think it might be about me, and with it he will lead his people to the Tree of Knowledge.
Well, that also could describe Marcus. That could also describe Campion.
City of Peace, and the prophet will be made its king.
In a way, you could say that describes Father. Like,
I believe in things. Just not the same way you do.
Hell yeah.
But it's evil.
Gotta agree with you there.
I wanted me to kill myself after it hatches. Maybe we can keep it as a pet.
Oh, he wants to keep it as a pet. I kind of forgot that he went vegetarian in the first season. You know, he's very against killing in all forms.
So, and you see, with all that suffering, it's only brought me closer to my true self.
Again, your face kind of disagrees with what you just said right there. Eggs? Aww. Oh, that's so cute. I didn't expect to have like such wonderful, sweet moments.
To fly like a bird.
No, no more snakes, dude. I love snakes. This show is making me like question that, to be totally honest.
It's beautiful.
Aww.
All living things are beautiful.
What a cute little kid. But I have to disagree with you because whatever came out of Mother, that thing is, nope, not beautiful. I really hope that's not a way they go with that, where she starts to like feel maternal or motherly towards whatever the fuck that thing is. Oh no. No. What is happening? They didn't show who it was, which makes me think it's someone we have seen before. So whoever did that just left them a little message? I mean, I'm honestly a little more worried about the supercomputer and Marcus than I am the other colonist. Alright, pretty solid first episode, but as per usual on this show, I have so many questions. Alright, quite an interesting start to the new season. Season 1, they did a very good job immediately setting up the Mithraic as, you know, the antagonist of the show. And then proceeded to create, you know, a lot more gray areas than that with literally everybody. And here they've introduced the collective as just this, you know, really nice place. They're treating the family very, very well. The people, for the most part, seem, you know, all right. But there's enough little hints in there for it to be kind of clear to me that this is the new big bad of the season. And the fact that they mentioned that, you know, the voices in people's head is like a signal that's being transmitted, that makes me think that the collective is, you know, Saul. Both the voice for the atheists and for the Mithraic, which I think would not only make a lot of sense, but that would actually be pretty, not only terrifying, but just kind of cool that this super intelligent computer basically is just playing with both sides of an endless war. For what end goals? Who knows? I doubt it's good. Like, in many ways, I thought the Mithraic was pretty fucked up in terms of if you're not a really important person in the religion, you're basically just a slave to everybody else. And I thought here with the atheists we would get something different, but here it seems yet again like they're slaves, but in this case it doesn't seem like anybody is considered important. Like they are all equal in the mind of this computer, you know, as a slave essentially. Like that might be an exaggeration, I don't know, we haven't seen, you know, how far this all goes. But the fact that it assigns a job for you, you know, split Mother off away from the rest of her family, and that moment where apparently it had told that girl that she had to apologize to every colonist as they were going to get their jobs, like that just seemed so... I don't even know how to describe that, to be totally honest. It's not torturous per se, and it's not barbaric. I guess it's not even really cruel and unusual punishment. If anything, it seems rather lax. But at the same time, that's kind of bullshit because she, you know, she threatened someone else and is therefore having to do this. She didn't actually do anything to anybody. I don't know, that whole moment really gave me the heebie-jeebies and not trust whatever this collective is. Also, they quite literally have Mithraic, like, slaves, so that's fucked up. And I am genuinely curious as to what's going to go on with that Mithraic mother, what was her name, Disma, and her android daughter in Marcus. It seems like the android is going to be a major problem for Marcus, so I'm assuming one of them is going to kill the other, unfortunately. Or fortunately, if it's Marcus. A bit of an issue I had with the episode, even if it is the very first one, I feel like there's still, like season 1, leaving me with just a little too much in terms of questions. I'm okay with there being like really in-depth mysteries to solve, but this show, more than others that I watch, I feel like it leaves me too in the dark sometimes. I'm like, come on, you gotta like give me something. You keep throwing stuff at me and not explaining it. However, the fact that they are now actively searching for this transmission from Saul makes me think we are gonna get some very important answers as to what is going on here. I'm hoping it's not all the way at the very end of this season, considering I spent the whole first season having that exact question. But you know, we'll see. But let's get into the technicals. Writing in this episode, as I've said before, I feel like this show leaves you in the dark just a little too much sometimes. That being said, character motivations seemed very spot on, actually. Marcus Caleb is still on his, eternal mission for Saul, which fucking sucks. Sue didn't really get to do much of anything in this episode, but I think her being the one to, want to find this signal because her own son, or I consider him to be her son. Like, she actually treated him like a mother should. So for her to be so upset about that, and that be the reason why she wants to find, the source of this transmission, I think that makes a lot of sense. Very cool. Also, Mother, kind of wanting to keep what happened with her snake baby a secret. Again, I feel like she should tell the truth, but she quite literally explains, like, I am shameful of some things, and I don't want other people to know about that. But you know what? Fair enough. I would also not want to tell everyone that a snake slug thing was growing inside of me and then crawled out my throat and proceeded to try and kill me and everyone else. That would not exactly a great conversation starter, so I can see why she's like, yeah, I lost the baby. It didn't work out. I find it kind of surprising that they didn't even show like that snake thing even one time during this episode. I thought for sure, like, throughout the season, if it wasn't gonna be the main threat, it would at least be shown pretty frequently, like, hey, don't forget, this freaky-ass thing is out there. And it actually makes me super nervous that they didn't show it, because they showed its skin during that one part, so I'm like, okay, they definitely are not, going to sideline whatever this thing is. But again, not seeing it, and seeing how fast it grew just within the first, 30 minutes of it being alive, I'm very nervous that the next time we see this thing, it's going to be as big as, those huge fossils they found in the first season, because, oh no. Pacing, I think, was also rather good in this episode. Considering it's not, a super action-packed one, it's not a super big, reveal-heavy episode. It's a lot of setup, it's a lot of explaining how they got from point A to point B. And they do it in a very engaging way that did not, have me bored with anything at any point. Still a quite slow episode, but plenty happened in it, quite a bit happened. Them starting to flesh out the collective is actually really cool. I like seeing the flip side to the Mithraic. So for writing, I'm gonna do an 8 out of 10. Editing in this episode, there weren't too many moments that stood out to me, but there were a couple. The moment, one towards the beginning when that dude died an extremely gruesome and horrible death, oh my lord. That moment I thought was cut together very well, because again, it's very long, slow cuts through most of the scene. And progressively, as he's reaching around in her and you can tell something is wrong, the edits really start to pick up the pace, naturally increasing the tension of the moment until it's really rapid cuts when she kills the one dude, then flips over the table, and a super cool moment, actually. Other than that, the editing in the episode was fairly straightforward, not, great, not bad at all either. However, there was one edit in the episode that I thought looked very odd, and I'm assuming it's more because they weren't able to get the footage they needed to like sell the moment, so they were like, try and trick it, with the edit. And it just looked awkward. It didn't look very good. And that was the moment when Marcus uses that tether carpe retractum type thing, and it like flings him to the shore. Because they clearly show that he's at least like 15, 20 feet from the shore. But then when it zips him over, it only shows his like feet leave the craft and then him immediately crash onto the rocks on the other side. I was like, that didn't look very good. Seemed like a kind of amateur-y moment compared to everything else I saw in the episode. So for editing, I'm going to do a 7 out of 10. Cinematography I thought was very, very good. Just like season 1, the visuals of the show have a very distinct look. I think a lot of shows going from season 1 into season 2 intentionally or unintentionally change the look and tone of the show, which can sometimes lead to a slightly disjointed feeling. It doesn't exactly feel like the same story or the same show. And here, they've done a really good job emulating and continuing the look and tone of the first season. But the cinematography itself also very much holds the kind of like still, but also very digital feel. I don't know exactly how to describe it. Like there are moments where they'll use lens types to intentionally make things look a little artificial. Not all the time, I'd say that's more rare, honestly. But it was utilized at least once or twice in this episode and in pretty much every other episode of the show. And just the actual lighting and like color grading of the episode is very similar to everything in the first season. Like it all looks very washed out and desaturated, but at the same time, it does still feel like a colorful world, which is a very difficult balance to find. And it seems like they did a good job finding it. So for cinematography, I'll do a 9 out of 10. Sound design, I love the sound design on this show. It very well might be my favorite aspect of the show. That's not to say I don't like, a lot of other things about it. It's just the sound and like score of this show is so good. It has a distinctly synthesized kind of sound, which I think is super appropriate for a sci-fi show, and especially one where the main characters are literal androids. But it also just does such a good job delivering emotion that you shouldn't really be feeling. Like, there are so many scenes that are just pretty normal. Like, I don't think anyone would read into them in any kind of sinister or ominous way. But the music that they'll play will, keep that in your head. Like, no, something's not right. Something's very off about all this. And they constantly do that, so almost everything feels like something's a little off, and I think that's a really cool place to keep your audience in almost all the time. So for sound design, it gets a 10 out of 10. Acting is another aspect of this show that has always really impressed me. This season is no exception. I personally think the best actor here, as always, to be totally honest. There are definitely other actors on the show that really impressed me in season 1, but the one person just consistently impressing me in every episode, this one especially, is Amanda Collin. I could not imagine anyone else playing this character, honestly. She has such a good balance of maternal, motherly love, some pretty good comedic timing, and also this really weird, off-kilter expression or body movements that she'll do that really sells that she's not human. I think Abu Bakr Salim also does pretty much just as good a job, but his character intentionally is supposed to be less, fucked up. Mother has a lot more issues, I suppose, to work out, so therefore usually her performance is more engaging to me because she's just doing more. So for the acting, I'll do a 10 out of 10. Costumes and makeup. Honestly, I don't really like the costumes and makeup on this show. To begin with, the milk blood, I've never been a fan of the way it looks. I think it distinctly looks like something else. I understand it's kind of to keep it, similar with Ridley Scott's Alien. Those androids also had milk blood. But again, it looks, I'm not a fan. I don't see why you can't just have your androids have regular blood in their system. Or if they need to have something else, Do something like Detroit Become Human, where it's like blue blood. The fact that it's white, like, I know what you did there, come on. Also, I thought the costumes of the collective were not weak per se, but I don't know, a little uninspired. I think that's sort of the point. It's all designed and run by a computer. But even still, I hold to this day, the colors yellow and green should never fucking be used together. It is the color of boogers, and it doesn't look good. And that's the color that everyone in the collective wears, and I really don't like that. On top of that, I don't like the darkened veins on Marcus's face. If they at any point expressly say, no, these are like this scar tissue that's formed, I'll give it a pass. But for right now, I'm pretty sure it's implied that it's, darkened veins, and it doesn't look like that to me. That all being said, it's not like the worst costumes and makeup I've ever seen. There's plenty on the show that they do pretty well. I think they do a great job not making everyone look super fucking pretty all the time, which for a dystopian, story about humanity trying to rebuild on an alien planet, I don't want them to all look, perfectly prim, proper makeup with super stylized curled hair and all that. I really like the look that they've gone here with like mullets, and most people are pretty dirty. Clothes are pretty worn, you only have so many pairs. So they've done a good job in that aspect. But the other stuff genuinely does bother me a bit. So I'm going to go for a 6 out of 10. Set design, the complete reversal of the last one. I love the sets that they use on this show. Some of them clearly, to me, were probably pretty cheap to make. Like, a lot of stuff in the collective is literally just gray paneled rooms, but they do a very good job accenting it with like little details that make things pop. Lots of like bright lights and, sci-fi technology around to, again, make it more interesting and a little bizarre. The cave that Marcus and, his growing group are now in, I think is absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if that's a set that they built or an on-location place. In either case, they either picked a really, really good location, like spot to film all that, because the lighting in that cave is superb, or they built a very realistic looking set, so good job. And also just the world building they did with like, here's what the tropics look like. The trunks of the trees are like really, really fat with like short little itty bitty stalks off the top with tons of fruit and everything. Like, it was very cool. It was very creative. So I'll do a 10 out of 10 for that. And finally, the visual effects. I gotta say, the visual effects on this show are usually pretty top notch, and they were here as well, but there are some parts where I'm like, it didn't look super great. Again, the tethering moment, I thought the edit was kind of weird, but also the actual tether, it looked cool, but it also looked fake. I didn't at any moment think like, oh, this might actually exist. They might have done this. But the effects they used for the landscapes I thought were very, very well done. Obviously lots of like set extensions in the background, which are kind of hidden effects in a way. And they all looked flawless. There was never a moment where I'm like, that thing in the background looks really fucking weird. I do have to mention one criticism though, because I guess I'm in a critical mood today. They did a very good job showcasing the like lighting on Caleb's, Marcus, I don't know, on his face with the, holograms of the ship. Because since it's moving, the light on his face naturally should be, moving around with it. And for almost every shot in here, they did do that. Except for one shot, and I don't really know why. There was one moment where everything he did on the projector didn't change the lighting on his face at all, and it did kind of distract me. It pulled me out of the moment. So for that reason, and some effects not quite passing the believability test, I'll do an 8 out of 10. And that gives this episode an 8.5 out of 10, and I don't really want to bump it up or down. personally, I think an 8.5 is appropriate. It was a very good start to the season, wasn't perfect, definitely could have been improved in a couple ways, but it was quite solid. And I have a second episode to watch right away, I don't even have to wait. As in season 1, I am so horribly confused on a lot of things, but I do get this sensation that we are coming close to some answers for once. And I'm very curious as to what's going to happen with the collective and the atheists and everything. To be perfectly honest, when they showed up in the last season, I was like, oh, that's cool, you know, it'll be neat to see this faction. But I think it makes it so much more interesting that they are literally run by an, you know, emotionless computer. Because the potential for conflict and for just interesting storylines and world building, like, there's just so much potential with that as the setup, so I'm very excited. So I will see you all on the next one, and that's about it.